Today we are going to talk about an important topic. Should you be able to ask any person who has a disability any questions about their disability? Are you entitled to an answer? Well, short answer, no. But here's why and what you can do instead. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Josh Tseng. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness from my point of view. Today we are covering the topic of touchy questions when it comes to people with disabilities. Should you be able to ask people like me any question you wish, and are you entitled to an answer from us? Well, like I said before, no. The short answer is people with disabilities can genuinely get sick and tired of answering the same questions over and over and over again. It's like, imagine if you are a teacher and all you got was questions about your teaching.
What are the kids like?
What is it like to mark papers?
Has any kid tried flirting with you? What did you do?
If you know someone who is a teacher, please don't ask them that kind of question. But as you can imagine, after getting these kinds of questions for 100, 200, maybe a few thousand times, you're gonna get pretty sick of it. Well, most people will. And so I'll be the first to tell you that you shouldn't be just asking people with disabilities questions about their disability constantly. And if you want to know the reason why, well, let's dive into them. Number one, be polite. Be polite, be efficient. This is kind of a weird way to put it, but you know, be polite about the questions that you're asking people with disabilities. It's a little bit rude, let's just put it this way, for you to walk up to a person and the first thing you do, maybe even before introductions, is,
Hi, what is it like to be blind?
it's not very fun and it's not very polite. And so, you know, if I were to give you Disability Etiquette 101, don't lead with questions about people's disability, and if you really have a nagging question, the polite way to go about it is to ask them if they are okay with you asking them questions about their disability. Remember that disability is a touchy subject. As I've covered in previous videos, it can be difficult for people with disabilities to accept their situation. So please try to be empathetic. You know, we're not just unfeeling robots or circus acts that are meant for your amusement. You know, we have feelings and we have feelings about our disability. So it would be a really big help if you could be considerate and think about how someone with a disability would react if you were to start off a conversation or make the entire conversation about their disability. It is not comfortable and it is pretty rude. I'm not trying to shame you for your curiosity, but it would be nice if you could think about how it makes people like us feel. And this neatly leads into my next point, which is number 2. Why are you so obsessed with this person's disability? Now, again, I'm not trying to guilt you into feeling bad, but really, think about it. Are you interested in this person as a person? Or are you interested in this person purely because they are a disabled person? One is the human thing to do, and the other is the opposite, which is dehumanizing. Because people like me, okay, people with disabilities, we are people too. We have our own interests, we have our own hobbies, we have our own lives that are, you know, entirely detached from our disability. Yes, having a disability affects many aspects of our lives, but we do enjoy many of the things that you normal folk enjoy as well. Like, for example, movies or sports, or, you know, any number of things. You would never know what this person's interests are until you ask them on a personal level. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Be personal. Don't try to just reduce us as a person who is identified solely by their disability. For example, I'm enthusiastic about headphones, I love talking about music, I have an interest in business and entrepreneurship, and I even grow plants. These are things you would have never thought I would be interested in if you only talk to me about my vision impairment. So be more interested in people like us because we are people, not because we are disabled people. I'm gonna interrupt this program with a little request for those of you who can help out. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. running this channel is pretty expensive. On average, it takes me between $70 to $300 per video to get this content out to you all. I'm not complaining, I chose to do this for myself, but it would greatly help if you could contribute what you can to my Patreon. Now, don't feel obligated to do so. No one of you viewers are required to do this, but if you can find my Patreon at patreon.com/Josh Tseng. That's JOSHTSENG. You can donate to different tiers and support this channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness. So again, that's patreon.com/JOSHTSENG. Thanks. Number 3. Sometimes your question is very easily answered by Google. So try looking it up. Seriously, a lot of the questions that you might have already been answered by people like me who make videos educating people like you about what it's like to be disabled, or there are articles online, even medical research papers. There is no shortage of content out there about people with disabilities because we are not as uncommon as you might think, and so Google is your friend. I know that's kind of the sarcastic thing a lot of people say, but sincerely, try it. Also, one benefit of doing this is that, it just expands your worldview or your understanding of people with disabilities, and then you might develop an even more specific question that you could ask us that would be way more interesting, and this question that you might develop is something that, Google may not be able to answer. Like for example, if you knew about the types of assistive technologies that people like me use on a daily basis, then you might ask me a more specific questions like,
Oh, which kinds of assistive technology do you use?
instead of just asking very broad and general questions. And this could lead into a discussion about why I choose a particular technology over the other, rather than just, asking the standard old,
How on earth do you use your phone? Or how on earth are you able to type on a computer?
like these are questions that you can find answers to on Google, but individual choices that people make in the assistive technologies that they choose to use are very personal. They are individual. And that is a much more interesting conversation. Trust me, I would be way more interested in talking to someone who was educated about what people like me need and use on a daily basis. And finally, the last point I would like to end on, number 4, if you have burning questions and, you have tried all of the above, none of the people with disabilities around you are receptive to questions, be accepting of that fact and understand that it is their personal choice. Not everyone wants to talk about their disability, like I said, and if you've asked politely and they've rebuffed you, be able to accept that. But number 4, you can find other people with disabilities who are willing to talk about their experiences, like me. That is precisely why I've created this YouTube channel, because I enjoy talking about this topic. I think I have some things that are useful to share. I am pretty open about it, and I really do like educating people on this topic and advocating for my community. This is my joy. I would not spend this amount of money and time and effort investing in something as challenging or, some people might even say pointless or fruitless as a YouTube channel if I didn't enjoy making the kinds of things that I do. And so, if you have questions about what it's like for someone with blindness like me, leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to tickle the like button, hit subscribe, smash that notification bell so you can stay informed about my future uploads, so your future questions about what it's like to live with blindness can get answered by me. Smooth advert, baby. Okay. Well, I hope this video was informative and you took something away from it, and hopefully you can find the right people to ask about their disabilities like me, so other people with disabilities who maybe are not comfortable talking about their condition can find their peace. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to advocate and raise awareness about what it's like to be vision impaired. I really do mean it when I say I enjoy making these videos, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!